Alright, today we are going to be doing what if Deku had Miro's quirk. So basically, the story would start off where Deku is born. So when he's born, I know this is gonna sound a bit crazy, but he's going to not have full control over his quirk. And because of that, sorry, he would fall through like the little baby carriage thing, and he would lay it on the ground, causing him to cry even louder. And then Anko would be like, "Oh, I guess this is his quirk." Should I do the voice? All right, whatever. F it. No, I'm not. Okay, whatever. So basically, what would end up happening after that? We're gonna be skipping until like where the series starts, when like that kid's getting bullied by Bakugo and his friends, and instead of Deku like not trying to he tried to defend him, but like Deku's gonna be like, all right, stop hitting him or else, because like Deku knows that he's powerful. It's not just like, oh, I don't know my quirk yet. Like, he knows he's powerful. Now, I'm just gonna address this already. Miro is quirk is going to be I mean, it's still Miro, and I like Miro, so what quirk should we give him? Let's give him a whatever, let's just give him like a metal quirk or something. So basically, what would end up happening is Miro, I know like this is not canon, but Miro would end up like be crossing by and he'd be like, "Hey, stop bullying him." And he would end up using his quirk to scare off Bakugo. And then Deku would kind of be livid because he's like, "Hey, I could have handled that on my own. I wanted to show him that I was strong enough." And then they would just be like, Miro would just be like, I didn't know that you had a quirk. And Deku would just be like, really? I wouldn't defend myself if I didn't have a quirk. So Miro would just say sorry in a like sarcastic way. And then Deku would be like, don't give me sarcasm, cause Deku is like confident now. Cause he like I forgot to adjust this, but like he has like a level up Miro's quirk. It's not like watered down. Like he could literally like he could make people face through. Let me. He can literally like pull people. Does that make sense? He can like phase people through the ground and keep them there and just beat them up. Like kind of like, in the USJ incident, and Kurogiri had the, you know what I mean, the suplex thing with All Might. Yeah, he could basically do stuff like that, but he could just keep them in the ground. So yeah, that's it's going to be like that. Also, we are going to be I feel like he would just destroy everything, and you know what? Let's add a lunch scene. So basically what's gonna be happening is Deku's going to be at lunch, right? And he sees some nachos. The only reason I said that is because I'm eating nachos right now, but he sees a plate of nachos on the lunch line. Now, Bakugo takes it from him and is like, you don't deserve this meal. And like something petty like that. And then for some random reason, Deku would just be livid. Like he'd just be like, "What'd you say to me?" And then Deku would, and then Bakugo would kind of like take a step back to be like, "Is this Deku?" Like, cause Deku never acts like this. So it's like, And then after that, like Deku just like he goes, me. Like, no, the Naruto fans are gonna kill me. I mean, Kushina, yeah. He's gonna be like that type of mad. So he's literally just gonna use his quirk. he's, he says, okay, sorry. He literally says, alright, since you want that my lunch so bad, he literally phases Bakugo's hands into the lunch tray. And then Bakugo's like, wait, no, no. And like Bakugo like apologizes like a lot. And then Deku's like, nah, you wanted my lunch, keep it. And like the lunch lady's just like, kids, go sit down before I call the principal. She ends up having to call the principal because Deku does not back down. He once chose this. He's like, he took my tray. And then Principal Nezu would just be like, young Midoriya, it wasn't your tray. It was free for anyone. Yeah, but Deku just gives up. So we skip to... I'm not going to skip the whole high school arc. Should I skip high school arc? Oh, I forgot we were in high school. Okay. Alright, now... middle school. Let's make UA a college. Actually... No, let's make UA a high school. So basically, Deku walks into UA and sees Bakugo and Ida bickering, right? And he's just like, these idiots. And he literally just walks past them, and he was like looking at the teacher because like he was writing something on the board about like hero quirks and stuff. So he like sits down unintentionally next to Bakugo. And Bakugo immediately is like, hey Deku, this is my seat. I mean, this seat is reserved for, like, he kind of stumbles over his words because, like, let's be honest, Bakugo does not have any friends. So he's like, this seat is reserved for All Might. And since they're in UA, interesting enough, after a few hours, All Might comes in. And, like, he's just like, Bakugo's just ecstatic. He's like, I told you, dumb Deku. And then Deku's like, I'm not sure he's going to sit there. But just then, to Deku's, like, absolute, like, Deku's, like, angry. Because he's like, then All Might sits there and he's like, hello. Like, he sits there for just, like, 2 seconds. Because he's like, he, like, leans back in the chair. And he jumps, like, next to the teacher and puts his arm over the teacher, right? Wait, no. Okay, All Might doesn't come in. And, like, he's like, alright, here, time for your hero thing. And then, what was it called? Hero, I forgot, but he was like, it's time for your hero exam thing. I forgot what it was called, dang it. But whatever. So, but then he was like, I know you all want to become heroes. And they all use their quirks. Even Deku uses his quirk. Like, he phases through the table and, like, unphases and, like, throws it out the window. And then the teacher just is, like, livid. But he knows he can't do anything because that's a student. But I know this is, like, Kage, why are you doing this? And, I mean, no. Okay, so we're going to be skipping all the way to Aizawa training them, correct? Alright? So we're skipping all the way to high school, all the way there. Now, let's design Deku's hero costume. It's going to be just like the one in the original, except the mask, it's going to look more like All Might's, because you guys already know how Miro looks. So basically, he's going to be having... Oh, I forgot to tell you what he looks like. He's going to be having yellow hair, blue eyes, and his yellow hair is going to be kind of like messy. So his costume's going to be like kind of looking like All Might's costume, but like it's different. So it's just gonna have some similarities to All Might. Anyways, I'm yapping too much about the costume. So he would end up using his quirk to phase. Wait, how would he use his quirk to get a score above Bach? Okay, wait. Oh, I don't know if that's how Miro's quirk works, though. I never really paid attention to Miro when I finished My Hero. Anyways, that rhymes. But anyways, I'm just going to be adding my own rules. So basically, he's going to be, oh my gosh, this lightning. All right. He just, uses his quirk to phase. Sorry, guys, this is my first time doing a what if, so I'm, not used to it. He's going to be... Wait, hold up. Let me show you guys what... New avatar! Anyways. So, basically, Deku's going to be... kind of like... Oh my... No. I'm not getting copyrighted. So he's going to be, using his quirk to phase the ball in the air, as it's going out. And then he, as he's doing that, it's gonna, break the... I don't know how to say this. It's gonna, break the meter, because it's staying in the air. So it's gonna have, the effect that it's flying, but it's not really flying. So he gets in the score of 1,000,000... tying with Uraraka. Well, yeah, let's do that. Now, guys, I'm not going to make him OP, because right now, let's say he's, I don't know, 15. He's a 15-year-old, so he's not really going to be that proficient. So, whatever he throws it goes, what was Bakugo's original score? 705.7. So his, without using his quirk, his score would be 705.09. Just because, he trains a lot. With his quirk and without his quirk. Kind of both. So it's now, working in tandem, he's very strong. Now, Bakugo... Actually, let's make 705.7... 705.7. Let's make that his score without using his bombs. And then he uses it with his bombs and gets 805.7. And so, yeah. So, Deku seeing this, he's okay, I gotta get stronger. I can't let, this cocky dude get past me. Even though Deku was not more cocky, but just as cocky as Bakugo. So, kind of ironic, but... Anyways, he basically, for the next 3 years, yes, we're going to be putting him at 18. He's going to learn how to use his quirk more proficient. Now, basically, what he's going to be doing for the next... Actually, let's get to the camp thing. So, let's skip all of that stuff because it's kind of filler, which is not filler, but it's filler to me. Let's skip all that camp thing. All the camp stuff. Oh, sorry guys, I can't talk correctly, but skip all that camp stuff and get straight to the villain attack. So basically, we're going to have Deku encounter Spinner. He sees the wildfire, he turns around, and Spinner's right there. And off instinct, Deku just throws a mean right hook, and it lands on Spinner, because Spinner hasn't had his sword out yet. Because Spinner was planning to do something what are you looking for? Because, Deku was looking for Koda. So he's he was going to do something hey, kid, what are you looking for? And then Deku would literally turn around and throw the meanest right hook of the century. And literally just, Spinner would just be done, bro. Because, if y'all saw how far he threw the ball without... not without, but using his quirk. Imagine how strong he can punch. So, I feel he could have done that way more proficiently by just, kind of like just using his quirk to just like phase his hand through like phase his hand through Spinner's sword and like use it as like I don't know, but like use it for himself. And I'd like to see Deku using his Spinner's sword. So Deku's gonna be ending up taking Spinner's sword, and he's going to be using it to like, oh my god, he's gonna be using his sword as like a weapon. So he puts it on his back, and seeing that giant thing and remembering Spinner, like Aizawa immediately gets on the defense. But seeing that it's just Deku, he's like, hey, what happened to Spinner and stuff? He's gonna be like, nothing. But then Toga appears out of absolute air, like it looks like Toga teleports. That's how fast she gets there. She's like, Spinner, but like just like in the original, she falls in love with Deku, and she tries to get his blood, but Deku's just like not on that timing. So he like turns around. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Deku. Should we give him one for all? You know what? I'm trying to make an overpowered Deku, so we're giving him one for all. And by now, he's able to control 100% full Cowan. Now, just off rip, he's like, he knows how to control his power. So he's like, I don't know who this person is, but I'm not gonna try and kill them. I'm only gonna try and like pacify them. So, dang, his teammates are good, but. So he throws like, he's like 20% one for all, full counting, and like punches Toga so hard that Toga nearly like gets put in the hospital, but like Toga's bleeding from everywhere. Not like that, but just in Toga would be like running away. And then basically after that, we would get, is it the trip to Island? Let's just say they take the trip to Island, right? They take the trip to Island. That's so hard to say. But I'ma just stop. They take the trip to Island. And like when they're on the private jet, Deku ends up asking if All Might if he can use anything past 100%. Because, like, Deku knows how strong he is. He knows, like, All Might's way more powerful than this. And if this is 100%, then, like, All Might, you're not telling me something. So All Might turns to him with, like, a serious look. And he's just like, look, don't use this. Like, he's like, look, I'm only telling you this. Like, I know you're reckless, but I'm only telling you this for your own peace of mind. There's a 1,000,000%. And Deku's just like, what? And, like, he's just like, what? There's a 1,000,000%. And, like, he's like, so, like, basically, to show a comparison, he asked Deku to use full counting. Deku, like, confused, does it. Just then All Might turns into his, like, big form. And then he's like, this is my full counting. And then Deku, like, gets, and, like, he starts to understand. He's like, okay, so that's your full counting. And this is my full counting. Okay. So, with that piece of mind covered, Deku's just like, okay. And, like, as soon as they get there, the robbery wouldn't even happen. Because they're like, okay, Deku's there. We're not going to rob that place. So they end up going to UA and trying to rob UA. But as you guys know, Bakugo would end up staying behind because, like, to his, like, absolute, like, he hates this. Like, he wanted to go to Island so bad. But he'll be late for, like, 15 minutes because his mom needed him to do something. So he stops the robbery, plus 15 minutes to his leave. And when he finally gets there, Deku's like, Deku already has like the arm thing that Melissa would have gave him, and like Bakugo's just confused. He's like, "What is happening?" And should I end it there? Nah, I'm not gonna end it there for you guys. So basically, during the Island arc, like Island would be finished, and after that, we would get. Actually, you know what? Let's end it there. Subscribe if you think this is a good one.